Hey all, and we're back. We've been gone for a bit, and we'll go into that for a second and explain why we've been gone for a while. But first, I'm Frank, your moderator, and with me today is
John. What's going on, y'all?
That's John. And we're going to be doing our news today.
Yeah.
We had a lot to catch up on, and the reason we have so much to catch up on is we had a vacation. Everybody was going on vacation on a cruise down to Mexico. It was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Came back with souvenirs and a cold, so we've been kind of shaking that. But in preparation for the vacation, we recorded, 3 episodes, and we did our level up and our nerd news, all that stuff like that. And what I did not realize was it all came out terrible. Yeah. And it had like this loud popping in the background, and so essentially unusable.
Devastating, because we had really good conversations.
We had such good ones. The
material.
level up turned out great. Yeah. The level up's supposed to be 30 to 45 minutes, ended up being over an hour. Yeah. It was such a good one. We talked about Portal. So we'll have to re-record all those episodes. Mm-hmm. And but we want to get the nerd news out there before the nerd news gets too cold. Yes. So that's what we're going to do now, and we're going to go ahead and start with that. So first thing in nerd news is Wizard World Comic-Con in Sacramento. Mm-hmm. It essentially got canceled. God, I'm so sad. I just hit the table hard like I said not to do.
I was already disappointed because I was going to miss it, so this is kind of a silver lining that, hey, you didn't miss it. Everybody missed it. But
well, we had a contest going to one of our reviewers, whoever left a review, to go ahead and win tickets to that for Saturday. So
get to hang out with us and everything.
Yeah, to hang out with us and stuff. So those who were going, which is basically everybody but you. Yeah. But we have our winner. We're going to announce it during the next top 5. But we already picked our winner. And instead of winning the tickets for a thing that's not coming up, they're going to win a T-shirt from us.
Oh, that's cool. That's good.
So we'll announce that. I already got the winner, but I want to make sure to announce it when everybody's here so we can all discuss the...
So did they say why it got postponed?
It was classic jargon of like, so we can focus on the Houston Comic-Con, blah, 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 blah. And it's a shame because this was just a few days after they announced the lineup. And I had texted everybody the lineup because we got the press level emails. Yeah. And it was Henry Winkler. It was Luke Cage was going to be there. Yeah.
Was it
Draco Malfoy was going to be there. Everybody was freaking out about that.
Yeah, especially Squeaks.
I'm such an old man. I'm just like, the Fonz? Oh my god! I can't wait to meet Henry Winkler. That's great. Right. And he's on a show called Barry. Have you watched Barry yet? No. The HBO show?
No. He's on all of Adam Sandler's movies though.
He's good, great there. Yeah. He's also he's the lawyer on Arrested Development, which I think his name is Barry there. That's funny because he's on a show named Barry, but his character's not Barry. He's an acting coach. Nevertheless, I was really excited to meet him. Lou Ferrigno was going to be there. Matt Ryan was going to be there, who plays Constantine on all the shows now. Oh, yeah. It was a really great lineup.
So does it seem like they just didn't have enough enthusiasm, or
I don't think so, because this company they do quite a bit of these shows. I just think it might have been too much because they had the one before this one was Chicago. I think I'm on their newsletter, so I think it was like Chicago, then us, then Houston, and instead they're going straight to Houston. So maybe Houston was a bigger venue, and everything like that.
More pre-sales or something.
We had a heck of a lineup though, and so I was upset about that. I was really excited to get there, and it was our first chance of doing the press thing, so that was exciting. But our next convention that we're all going to be going to is BlizzCon, and that's a big one for us. We're all big Blizzard fans. I know Squeaks and Dan will be going to that one with me, and we'll record a couple episodes down there talking about it. So that'll be cool. So make sure you guys pay attention for that. We'll make sure to post a ton to the social medias. So the Sacramento Comic-Con Wizard World version is going to be September 2019 now, and they haven't posted much anything else about that. More news got announced was Space Jam just got confirmed the sequel, and it's going to be with LeBron James.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny. So many years.
Yeah.
When did that come out? Like in 98 or something?
It feels like a 96, 98 era.
Oh my god.
And it's funny because everybody's like, oh yeah, Space Jam's with LeBron James coming eventually. Like it's been in the works for a long time, but nothing confirmed. And now they finally confirmed it with a couple of videos. One where LeBron's talking to Bugs and Daffy about how many championships they're going to win. They got 7 championships. So I think now it's like an established team or something like that. So we'll see what happens.
I wonder if they're going to change the animation a little bit at all. I mean, I know it'll be cleaner, but I wonder if they're going to... Because it looked good back then for what it was.
Well, it's funny. Have you watched it recently?
No, it's been a while.
With all this LeBron news, I've seen some clips of the old Space Jams, which we grew up on. Yeah. And it's amazing how terrible they look now.
The mash of from live action to
and it's like,
animated.
So Bugs Bunny and all them, like, WB cartoons are always good.
Yeah.
But then when they put them on the movie, they like glossied them up a little bit, and so that glossiness didn't age well. Like, I could watch an old WB cartoon. I could watch an actual Looney Tunes clip from back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
And they still timeless. But these did not age well because the glossiness they put in there for the movie. Yeah, so
that's weird.
It'll be interesting to see what they do now. Yeah. We'll see what it is. There was a new Captain Marvel trailer that just came out. Did you get a chance to watch that?
No, somebody was telling me about that. I didn't even look. So I don't know anything about Captain Marvel because I never heard about her until the end of the Avengers movie. And I was disappointed at the fact, the way they introduced her, or the way they mentioned her, or hinted at her, or whatever. Because literally half the people in the entire universe just died, and you had a plan B that you didn't call in.
That's a good point. Yeah, actually.
You should have called everybody from every fucking galaxy to come together.
Freaking yeah. Every galactic issue, she should be the first person you call. Yeah. I think maybe it's because Nick Fury didn't know about. No, there's no way.
The situation was.
Yeah, but there's just no way. I mean, it's when the first ship, the son of Thanos, bringing in the first ship into New York, like, that should have been like bells going off. Yeah, good point. She should have been called in way earlier.
Long time ago.
But I am excited for her.
Yeah.
She's going to be her, Black Panther, Doctor Strange. That's the new Avengers right there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this new
Doctor Strange.
I'm such a fan of Doctor Strange. He actually just got a pay bump too, $7.5 million more to do the next Doctor Strange.
Nice.
Good sign.
Yeah,
that's a good sign.
That's cool.
Next we have, I tell you what, we should do a drinking game. Every time I say
Oh gosh.
So terrible.
Our audience wouldn't finish the 1.5 hour clips we got.
Batman Day was on September 15th, and with it was the launch of the DC Universe streaming service. Came out with Teen Titans and stuff like that, and there's already a lot of support for it and stuff like that because they're coming out with The Thing. They're coming out with Young Justice season 3 is coming out with there and stuff like that. Do you think you're gonna ever get it, the DC Universe streaming service?
I don't know. It depends. I have to see if they're. I mean, I don't know.
Has everything DC related.
It's
so
just
all
like,
the Batman movies.
Just like Hulu and Netflix, right?
Yeah, it's just another one.
I don't know. We'll see. If anybody else gets it and there's a good series out, maybe I'll get it. And watch
it comes with. This is what might sell it to you because this is new for Jonathan, but it comes with the comic books too, where digital comic books you can read it.
That is pretty cool.
That sells it. Yeah.
Gosh.
Because so on this cruise, it's a 7-day cruise. We went down to Mexico, and Jonathan actually got into his first comic book series. It was Saga, great one to get into.
Yeah.
And so he's starting to kind of flex those comic book reading muscles now.
Once you start doing it, it's like, okay, well, what's next?
They read so smooth.
Yeah, and now, I'll get to it later. But there's another series that I definitely want to read before.
Okay, remind me at the end. We'll talk about it because I'm always down to talk. Daniel also read his first comic book, and as soon as he got home, he ordered the next one.
Yeah.
So it was he read the first Batman Beyond trade, and I read it too because I hadn't read it yet. Yeah. But it was really good.
Saga reads so easy. So I read 1 through 3. I still have your number 4, and then I think as soon as I finish that, I'm going to buy the rest of them.
Oh yeah, they're good.
Line them all up,
and they have the last one coming out, but they're waiting 1 year before they actually, because they used to do 3 months. Now they're waiting the 1 year before they release the next piece.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, take your time. Yeah. Do not mess this up.
It's like Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
Yeah, everyone's patiently waiting.
Next up is Bethesda says that they're going to keep there's Fallout 76. They got a game, Fallout 76, coming out.
Yeah.
It's a lot like Ark. It's a survival game. They said they're going to keep the servers live forever, that they'll always support this game.
Really?
Seems impossible.
That's a big investment.
Yeah, so that's huge because not only... if you look at like Skyrim or something like that, like, oh yeah, that's always active, or that's always been up and running well, they keep it updated. That's fine. But a game like Fallout 76 is actually going to require servers on Bethesda's end. They'll have to keep servers up on there to make public servers.
Yeah.
So that means that they're going to have to constantly have a server room running somewhere.
Yeah.
For a game that might be 20, 30 years old.
Yeah, they'll always be. So maybe this game will require a monthly membership though, because they're going to have to pay constant maintenance.
Could be.
You have an
that could be, but that
servers.
seems. I think it's more likely that there'll be DLCs. Like you could download some special skin or gun like Fortnite does, or whatever. That's true. I could see those things running forever.
That's true because the Steam's probably proven you can make a lot more money.
That's their baby too.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm thinking Valve, but yeah, it's and it's funny, but just because the word forever, when they said, "Oh yeah, we'll do it forever," it's like, do you guys understand like
what forever
what you're
means?
saying there? Could you imagine right now if like, oh, there's a new update for Super Mario Brothers, the 85 game that came out for NES?
Yeah.
Like the systems that it comes out on, I know it'll be out on PC. That's why I'm getting it, but it'll probably come out on Xbox One as well. So you're gonna keep it updated throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard. But then again, also like I just keep countering myself in my own head. I'm thinking Minecraft. I could see Minecraft being updated forever.
That's true, because it's like you're saying, it's updated constantly. So it's not that you're keeping that same dinosaur going. You're not on a console system, so you don't have to worry about the technology dying. You're on a PC.
Well, see, that's the thing is Minecraft. The reason I thought about Minecraft after that is because I was thinking it jumped console systems. It was on the 360. Now it's on the One.
Yeah.
So maybe we can see something there.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. Saying forever, that's chancy.
Yeah, because if eventually you don't have enough people playing it to be worth supporting it, then you said forever. At what point you have to draw a line in the sand still?
It's going to be a tough one.
For a business, for the financial sides of the business. You can't support dead weight.
Yeah, and Bethesda, like they're a production company at this point. They're not just making games. Like they're making huge stories that we all love. They got the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. How many times have we played Oblivion? Yeah. Skyrim is like Oblivion on steroids. You know, so they need all the money they can. Don't dunk it on a game that we're already done with. Something like that. So we're bouncing back and forth between TV and movies and video games. But here's our next one. Snowpiercer. There's going to be a TV show, right?
Is it?
Oh, you didn't know about this?
That? Oh man, okay. I want to watch the movie again because I only watched it the one time with you, and it was really cool. That was an awesome movie, but
so it's got a release date now, June 2019, and it's going to be starring Stephen Ogg. You probably don't know who the heck that is.
No.
I love him because of two things. First off, in Walking Dead, he's great. He's one of the bad guys that works for Negan. He's the guy that wants to take over Negan. So I don't know if you've...
I don't remember. I didn't pay attention to Negan.
Half our people don't pay attention anymore to Walking Dead, so I understand.
Negan ruined it.
And then in Grand Theft Auto 5... Oh, he's Trevor.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Trevor happens to be in Walking Dead for some reason.
Yeah, well, imagine Trevor is on that Snowpiercer train in the back starting problems.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's going to be great. He's such a good character actor. His face translates so well.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see how he messes things up.
Malevolence.
WildStar finally died. That's so sad.
Yeah.
So, but our Carbine, the company that started WildStar, they're turning everything off now. They tried... It was a really good game. There was a developer that worked with them early on that came out and said, like, they just rushed it too much. It was a game that should have taken 10 years. They pushed it out in 5, stuff like that. Carbine, so here's the story behind Carbine. It was a small company that was made up of old World of Warcraft developers. They decided, okay, World of Warcraft got too easy. Let's make a new game that's even harder like it was back in WoW days. So they did. It was a phenomenal game that didn't take itself too seriously. A lot of jokes. It was a lot of fun leveling. When it got to the end, though, you had a bunch of players that were trained by WoW. They got lazy. I mean, like, we wanted our looking for group, and we wanted our stuff like that. Where we just, and then like, no, there's a raid. Go find people and go into it and like learn how to do things the hard way.
Yeah.
And it just
for the original players, that's great. But
right, but the original players were now we play WoW to a way to where we learn to adapt to WoW.
Yeah.
So in WoW's experiencing this would be with the new expansion that came out, Battle for Azeroth, where they try to bring things back a little bit to like hard mode, and people are regretting it. Yeah. And so it's kind of like, you can't make us happy. Just a heads up on that, you know? So anyways, that's what WildStar did. And what's amazing is this company did things like great engagement where they had a weekly show from the developers to the fans, is where they talked about questions and stuff like that. That's been adopted by World of Warcraft and other games. They had funny jokes within the game adopted by other people. You know, there's a bunch of things. Their interrupt system, it needs to be adopted by other MMOs. There's a lot of things about this game. So interrupt system real quick. Yeah. When something's casting a spell or an ability, you're able to use a move to interrupt it and stop it. All MMOs have it. World of Warcraft has it, and it's like a job you would rotate in through your melee DPS. Yeah. These are a lot of terms that people don't understand, but we'll go quick. Well, in WildStar, something would have like a 5 next to its name, which means if it's casting a spell, you had to have 5 people interrupt for that thing to actually interrupt.
I got you. You need a certain level of power to do the interrupt.
So say you had a 40-man raid and the thing had a 30 on it. Yeah. You had to have 30 people. Maybe some of your tanks and healers are tossing their interrupts in.
You have to call everybody in to stop that real quick.
Yeah. Cool. Or if it had a 40-man raid and you had 10 people do it, and their interrupts were 20-second cooldowns, and so you interrupted, but you had to rotate the 10 that are doing it because their things were on cooldown, but you had to get the things down. I mean, it was a different level. It's something that WoW could implement in, and it would just like change the game for them. And it's such a small little change. But they've already taken a lot from Walter. Everybody has.
Yeah.
It was a really good design, and it just came in a wrong time.
So does Carbine have something else in the works that they're planning
Companies
on releasing?
did.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't have a chance.
That sucks.
They even tried to make another game. They tried to make there was a big WildStar 2 rumor going around. All of it dead. NCSoft is no longer supporting them. That's the company that basically bought them to try to like finish up the program.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Man.
Yeah, it was sad. Fortnite leaks future custom battle buses, pets, and more. These guys are just making all the cash in the world now.
Yeah.
Every dime they want, they got it.
Might as well.
So, for those of you not familiar with Fortnite, you start the game off with in a flying bus, then you jump out and you fight people. That bus changes depending on events and stuff like that. Like they had their 1 year thing, had like candles on there, like a birthday cake. Well, now you're going to be able to actually buy custom skins for that. That's how this game's making all their money, guys. It's a free... Well, there is a paid version of the game, but basically it's a free game. The part that everybody plays is free. And then you buy to make your guy look cool or to change the looks of things. And it's just printing cash. It's amazing how much money is being made.
It's funny because it's like... when you think of gamers, you don't think that's the kind of stuff that they're going for.
Oh my god, yeah. League of Legends figured that out too.
Yeah. Like when you go back to WoW back in the day, like everybody was just competing for the best gear. It didn't matter how it looked. It just mattered how...
It's funny you say that. WoW has mounts.
Now they do.
Well, but they've always had mounts. Well, I mean, they've always had mounts where, like, I mean, technically the mount still goes at the same speed as that guy's mount.
Yeah.
But
everything's getting more customizable.
Yeah. So and it's funny because as a player, you're like, well, look, it's only $5. It's the same thing with the apps. Like an app on a phone, it's a freemium game. Yeah. It's only $5. I could put $5 in and make myself look like a dude with a cool mask or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like another $5 later on. They're doing good. Yeah. They're doing really good.
So get people involved in it and then sell them stuff they don't need.
So yeah, the battle buses and pets are new and that got leaked. And so they're having to confirm it. Xbox One's coming out with a new controller in Australia. Jonathan, this thing, I might have to own it.
Yeah.
It's grease proof.
Really?
Yeah, so when you're playing, like, and you're eating chips, or you're eating your KFC, or just being, why is this not coming out in America? I have no clue.
You know what? It probably can only handle the volume of grease that Australians produce.
Don't make me laugh too hard.
American level of grease is just a little bit too much. It couldn't withstand the KFC test.
So they're like beta testing it over there. They might throw a couple extra layers of plastic on this thing if they can bring it to America.
Triple coated.
But yeah, so it's grease proof and it's coming out in Australia. Henry Cavill, who's the man who plays Superman right now.
Yeah.
He is now going to be playing Geralt in the new Witcher show for Netflix. Witcher's a really popular video game. Witcher 3 is awesome. Nice. And anyway, so it's going to be a really good game. Basically, think Netflix is coming out with like a Game of Thrones world where you're following, like, I don't even know, like a brand Jon Snow hybrid. Like, it's just...
Like Constantine?
I was going to say Constantine. It's funny you say that. I was going to say put Constantine in the... But it's a little
less magic?
Little less magic and a lot more awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really cool, so it's going to be really cool. And this is just today. After Mission Impossible, the new Mission Impossible, it was like, Henry Cavill should be the new 007. Now, from one of the insiders in Hollywood, the studio that makes 007 is actually looking into Henry Cavill being the new 007. Nice. I've always been an Idris Elba man, but after watching that Mission Impossible, Henry Cavill's got it.
Yeah?
For sure. All right. Adventure Time. They did their last episode last month. Yeah, I know.
I gotta get caught up.
And that's the same thing for me. It's not fair for me to be like super sad about it because I gotta catch up on it. Yeah. But apparently had a really solid ending. It was like an hour and a half episode, kind of movie at the end. That's such a good show.
So my big question is, when is the collector's box set coming out?
Exactly.
Because I have to own it all.
Exactly. And just have a big picture of LSP on the front.
Yeah, right? I mean, like, I can own all the individual ones. Ooh, a metal tin LSP that you open and they're all in. Oh,
you should see, like, the posters for the final episode.
Yeah.
And I'm already like, okay, so hard to explain how good the show is. People who are like, is it for kids? It's really not. I mean, it is as well, basically. Yeah. But, like, you know how, like, anytime in the seasons that we watched, anytime there was a flash forward or an alternate timeline, Finn's missing an arm?
Yeah.
Well, in the poster for the final episode, he is missing that arm. So at some point in the season I haven't seen, he is missing an arm. Yeah. So it's just great how much that show's like planned their future and worked really well with it.
That shows good writers right there.
Yeah. All right, you remember the game Soul Calibur?
Yeah.
Remember we used to play that all the time?
Yeah, back in the good old days.
Soul Calibur 6 is coming up, right back in the good old days on the GameCube.
Yeah.
And, God, it's classic. But, so... this big one coming up. It's got a lot of leaked characters in it, a lot of controversy over how the women are dressed and everything like that. Classic stuff you expect out of video games nowadays.
Yeah.
2 characters got leaked. We got Cervantes. he's okay. He's like a pirate guy, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Raphael just got leaked.
Uh-oh.
That's my guy.
That was your favorite.
Oh my
Didn't
god.
he have the French rapier?
Yep, he did. And I used to be able to basically cheat with him.
Yeah, because you
the reach.
He was constantly interrupting your opponent's attack, so I couldn't do anything until I was dead.
So I was like, nah, we'll see if I get into new Soul Calibur. But now they brought my boy back. As long as I could cheat with him again, I'm down.
Right.
Yeah. New set photos show Michonne is apparently going to be taking more of a leadership role in the lead up to Rick's death or departure.
Speaking of The Walking Dead.
Speaking of The Walking Dead,
He just jumped from Soul Calibur.
normally we kind of like line these up to where like all TV, all video game, but this one we're kind of jumping around a little bit because you're gonna choose 4 topics. At the end, we're gonna do deep dives on. So yeah, you should be paying attention now.
I should have been taking notes.
I told you. So yeah, Michonne will be taking more of a leadership role, and we did a whole top 5 about who should be the new leader and stuff like that. And she was, I think, talked about a little bit, but so when I saw some of the photos. And you could tell, like, that people are actually looking to her, which is kind of nice. So, hopefully that does well.
I think it'd be kind of cool if they show an episode or a season. Because each season seems like they find a new setting and they go through new challenges, new villains and stuff like that. And then they overcome it in the next season. New setting, new challenges, new villain, whatever. But it'd be cool if there was a season where something happened and they all disbanded. They all got separated.
Well, that's what this season upcoming is basically it.
Oh, okay.
Because after the results of Negan, where they wanted to capture Negan instead of killing Negan, that's basically split them into 2 factions now.
Oh, okay.
Because, and Maggie's leading one faction with Daryl and Jesus and who else? Anyways, it's one group that does not agree with Rick's group over here. And butting heads.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
it might be, yeah.
I like it.
Next up, speaking of episodes that got ruined, Nicksplat. We got to announce Nicksplat. So Nickelodeon has a new streaming service coming up. It's under Crunchyroll. If you guys aren't familiar with them, they do an anime streaming service. And it's going to be all 90s Nickelodeon. We did a whole top 5 about this, but it got just ruined during the whole... Our mic sucks.
God, that was one of them too.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Sucks. Our audience doesn't know the real good stuff we have.
We're going to re-record them, but I don't know how well it's going to feel re-recording an episode where I already know that everybody else is wrong and I'm right.
It's been a couple weeks, so us talking about it again might
That's
be
true.
Fresh.
As long as I can talk about Hidden Temple. Oh man, I can't wait for that to come back.
Gosh, yeah.
Nobody else remembered him. Maybe I'll make everybody watch the YouTube videos before we get to the next one because they have to see Hidden Temple so they can be reminded of how good it is.
Yep.
So yeah, that's coming back. It's 90s cartoons and shows like Adventures of Pete and stuff like that are on there too.
Yeah.
Disney Play is the new streaming service Disney's coming out with. Everybody's coming out with streaming service now.
Yeah.
Netflix is going to have a hard time
The
holding
regular cable system's just falling apart.
It's falling apart. So now we're going to get this where we pay a bunch of small amounts, and then eventually somebody will put them all together. It'll be the new cable service.
It's like you buy Hulu and you get DirecTV free.
Basically. Right?
It's going to be switched around.
So Disney Play is getting 2 new shows they're working on. One starring Scarlet Witch, and the other one starring Loki.
Nice.
I'm excited for the Loki one. Because
I wonder if
the events of Infinity War, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
I want to see a prequel with him, or I want to see just more of him somehow. Is it Tom Hiddleston? That dude, the actor, is amazing. So I want to see more of that.
You said this is going to be a TV show, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder, because it's going to be, you said it's on Nicksplat?
No, this is going to be Disney Play, which is the Disney's streaming service.
So I wonder if they're going to show a prequel early on as Loki as a child, kind of blending in with this family where he doesn't.
It could be, but the idea is that they're using the original actors. This is Disney flexing the muscles. This is Disney saying, hey, look, guys, we need to make money. We have all these people under contracts.
Yeah.
Let's use them.
Let's milk them.
Yeah, so. And then another streaming service news. Netflix got, I know this isn't nerd news, but I'm excited about it. Netflix now has the U.S. rights for the British baking show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know, right?
That's so funny.
Not nerd news, but I was like, sweet. You know, because it's on PBS, so you're like, set it to record, like, I've already seen this episode. Blah, blah, blah. It needs to be streamed. Really good show. Yeah. America has a version of it that's just not nearly as good. I don't know why, but
yeah, there's one that's been on Netflix, just a couple seasons of. It's a British baking show, but I don't know if it's the same one.
It might be, but the new episodes are coming to Netflix.
Okay, so that's what it is. Because I think there was only 2 seasons on there. So
yeah.
Now
so
they have the rights to all
and
of it.
and it is actually on there. I've put it on for people in the past, but the new one's going to there.
Nice.
Guardians of the Galaxy gets put on hold. Number 3.
Why is that?
Yeah, the director problems. So. James Gunn's out. They're working on getting a new one. Everybody's hoping to get the director from Thor. That's the next thing's Halo. Thor. And so it's put on hold for a while. Nobody's really happy about this. Dave Bautista's been really vocal on it about the situation. It's a question of should we use James Gunn's script? Should we, what director should we get to get a new feel for this?
Yeah.
There's a long shot on this, and we'll discuss this more later on if you want to, but there's a long shot that Bradley Cooper might direct it, who plays Rocket Raccoon in the show. I think that is a chance. He's already directed a few smaller films on the side. Yeah. And if he's successful with a Marvel title, I mean, that'd be huge. And he would fit in the best, I think, because he's already been there and he knows how James Gunn runs the show. So just do it again and you'll be fine.
But if he's not successful,
ends his career,
lose tons of money. Yeah, I mean, so yeah. I would find somebody who's been doing very similar movies that knows the feel, and don't just have him do somebody else's work.
Yeah.
Give him the script, say, play with this, make it comfortable for what you like. We don't want you, not understanding what you're working with and working on somebody else's script, because that's going to come out.
The director
confused.
of Thor 3, I think, is a really good fit, and he is kind of like the top contender right now, and I can't remember his name, but he does the voice for the rock monster.
See, I didn't care for Thor 3 that much.
Well, but can't you imagine him kind of fitting into the Guardians of the Galaxy world pretty well?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Oh, try not to cough.
Because Thor 3 felt more like Guardians than it did like Thor, which that's what I didn't like about it.
I know. And it's funny because people are like, oh, don't you like Thor more now? Because this actually came up on another podcast entirely about me liking Thor. Yeah. Back in the day, more than I do now. It actually came up on Hardly Heroes. Shout out to them. And my argument is that I like the Viking gods aspect of Thor. Yeah. Give me a Game of Thrones. They promised that a while ago. Mm-hmm. He's going to be the Game of Thrones guy. Give me a Game of Thrones. I want to see political intrigue. I want to see him, Loki's there, but Loki's fighting for the throne the whole time. More of that, less of...
They have enough jokesters. We have jokesters. Chris Pratt is great.
Chris Pratt is amazing.
We don't need two. They're just going to butt heads with each other. They're going to try and
it's... Yeah. As soon as we had Thor 3 where he was joking around, we went into Infinity War, and all of a sudden, the joke's bouncing off of him, which is how Thor has always been funny in the past, was what was funny. So it's like, oh, they're going to shut off his joke thing for this one real quick while we put him in the Guardians? Yeah. Turn it back on when we do a Thor again? Mm-hmm. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I think they're stepping on their own toes with that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. All right, so Halo, the Master Chief Collection. Mm-hmm. This is coming to Game Pass this month. This has Halo 1 through 4 remastered, completely high def and everything like that. Nice. And Game Pass is a program, and it's another
streaming
monthly
service?
Well, it's a monthly service. Yeah. It's probably, to me, I think it's becoming better and better, more of a bang for your buck if you're an Xbox fan, or it's even on a lot of PC games. Mm-hmm. But you pay $10 a month or whatever, and then you get these games basically free with it. You download and play. That's how I'm playing Sea of Thieves. I'm not actually owning Sea of Thieves. I'm renting it when I get the itch. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, so now you can play Halos 1 through 4. Those are the best 4 Halos. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I mean, I like those the best. Yeah. And so you're able to stream those and play those now. And that's coming out this month. So that's pretty exciting. Man. Next we have Diablo 3 is coming to the Switch, which seems like it's a pretty good fit. It's got the same controls that you would need and stuff like that. I'm going to try to go through these a little quicker. We have BlizzCon. We're going to have 2 episodes from BlizzCon. I was thinking that from the Halo. Or I'm sorry, from Diablo 3. Mm-hmm. Will Smith announced that he is working on Suicide Squad 2.
Really?
Yeah. Because Suicide Squad, while a flop here, was successful worldwide. Huh. Isn't that funny? It was a terrible movie.
Yeah, I mean, I still didn't watch it, so I can't talk crap about it.
Yeah. But you got to watch it. Just so that you know how bad it is. My favorite character in that movie, and I won't give too anything away about it, is Diablo. Yeah. He's awesome in that movie, and nobody talks about him. But anyway, he says he's working on a Suicide Squad 2, but it'll be after Blight 2, also a flop. Yeah.
Oh, Bright.
Is it? Bright. You're right. Yeah. Bright.
So, funny story about that. I seen it on Netflix, and I kept seeing the little clip or whatever. I was like, that looks good. That looks good. But for some reason, in my mind, I thought it was a series. I thought it was a TV show.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, Netflix, as it is.
Yeah. So it looked good. I was like, oh man, that might be a really good TV show. And Will Smith is another. Yeah. So I put it on. I'm watching it, and I'm like, all right, this episode has to end pretty soon. Yeah. There's got to be more for the next episodes. Yeah, no, that was a full movie. I watched the whole thing, and then I'm like, oh, that was a movie. That was pretty good, though.
Was it good?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
It felt like, what was that game? Shadowrun. It felt like it was in the world of Shadowrun.
Oh, man, that should be a movie, though. Yeah. How good of it? I mean, that should be a show. Mm-hmm. Made by the guys that do Lost in Space. That'd be really good.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so, and then the other show or the movie he's working on right now, this is actually the one I'm excited about.
Is it all by Will Smith?
All by Will Smith.
Really?
And technically, he's going to be in the new Men in Black. Also, I'll just throw that out real quick. New Men in Black, starring Chris Hemsworth, Thor. So, bringing in Thor on that. He's like the new guy, and Will Smith's the old guy. Huh. How cool is that?
That'll be. I hope that plays well.
But anyway, so Will Smith announced Bad Boys 3.
Really?
I'm excited for that.
Wow.
Good classic action movie. You got Will Smith, Martin Lawrence back at it again.
Is it going to be the two of them?
From what it sounds like, it's the original cast.
Oh, man. Okay.
That's a 90s action movie brought back, you know? Yeah. That's a good movie. That's actually, I think it was one of our top fives. Yeah, was Bad Boys. I think I argued against it, but nevertheless, still good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of if they were to replace them with new actors, who would be good, but I don't know.
They could probably throw in a third wheel, and he just wouldn't fit in.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny to see. I'm trying to think of, and the example of how that would work is Lethal Weapon 4, they brought in Chris Rock, and Chris Rock was a young kid, remember Dating Donald Glover's daughter and stuff like that. Didn't work. Yeah. I'm in an action movie mind now. I'm ready for all of it. Next, Tom Cruise turned down but was offered, so that's what I'm upset about. Green Lantern.
Really?
Yeah, to Tom Cruise. Yeah, he turned it down because they said they want to kill off Hal Jordan at the end of it. So he's like, no, I don't want to. So first off, thanks for spoiling it.
Yeah.
Right? And the way they're going to do it like a buddy cop movie. Speaking of Lethal Weapon, they're going to do a Lethal Weapon in space.
So they're going to try to be funny.
Well, I think that's the idea is that they're going to, because they don't really have that in Justice League world. Justice League doesn't have their Guardians of the Galaxy yet.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't do fun. Just because the other Green Lantern movie was so terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would make it all action and suspense and, because there's a lot more space in it than any other Justice League movie. So.
And give me more Green Lantern Corps. I like the Green Lantern Corps best of all. And so the idea is that this is going to be about these two guys working together. John Stewart's the new guy.
Yeah.
And then eventually the mantle being passed on to John Stewart. Hal was supposed to die. Yeah. Well, Tom Cruise turned it down because he didn't want Hal to die.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand Hal's amazing and I understand you don't want to die, but this is your one chance to get into the superhero world.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's okay. We can find a lot better Hal Jordan anyways. I mean, Tom Cruise is cool, but I don't see him as a superhero actor anyways.
I don't. And it's funny because I'm such an Idris guy. Yeah. But I'm like, how can we get Idris to play John Stewart? But, he's supposed to be the younger version.
Yeah, can he be both?
Yeah, right? Can we do that? Can we make him Hal Jordan? Hey, you know what? Who cares? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Right?
But I'm sure with modern technology they can make him... I mean, who says John Stewart has to be young buck? He can be just starting out, but he's an older guy. The ring's energy keeps you alive for 600 years. In
the new trailer for Captain Marvel, speaking of that, it takes place in the 90s. Yeah. And has Samuel L. Jackson in there as a guy from the 90s.
Yeah. They
did a nice job de-aging him.
Really?
Looks good. Looks solid.
That's cool.
Next up we have, there are confirmed movies for, there's a new one for Simpsons, new one for Family Guy, and a new one for Bob's Burgers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about Bob's Burgers.
I'm excited for all three of them. Yeah. I really am excited for Bob's Burgers, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm worried about Family Guy because they said it's going to be part live action.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's a good reaction right there.
Yeah.
Like, don't mess this up.
Exactly. Like, you have a good system. People like your show. I mean, keep bringing out new content. Don't make it, don't think extra edgy makes it extra exciting because...
They will. They will. And it's funny because... When you watch those three shows, first off, Bob's Burgers is amazing. And if you're not watching that yet, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Simpsons, everybody's like, oh, Simpsons is old school. It's the comedy doesn't hold up anymore. Have you watched Simpsons lately?
Yeah, the last 4 or 5 seasons, they've definitely matured to modern.
And it's more of like a storytelling show, and less about just jokes after jokes after jokes. Yeah. And then Family Guy, that is a formula that has been it's a broken donkey at this point. Yeah. It's just not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that reminds you of the time when I, whatever the heck, and then it shows a cutscene, and you're like, okay, it got me laughing or didn't get me laughing. I'm tired of it. Please don't be a full movie of that.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of it.
I don't want to see live action clip of Peter beating a dead horse.
Yeah. Ruby Rose is going to be the new Batwoman in the CW crossovers, and those are all taking place in December. December 9th is when they start. And the entire crossover will happen in Gotham. That's huge because so far... So far, the only time Batman universe has been mentioned was on Arrow, and it was a real quick thing where Oliver Queen was doing a press conference, and he's like, "Oh yeah," I think he said, it's been a while since I've heard it, but he says like, "Oh yeah, I'm the Green Arrow, like Bruce Wayne is Batman or something like that." It was some little joke like that.
Yeah.
And so this whole thing's gonna be over there. Are you excited about this? I know you're not. I know you know you don't watch the CW stuff.
I don't, but I do want to start. I do want to binge them and get into it.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you this right now.
I've tried the Green Arrow a few times.
Okay,
and it just bores me to sleep every time.
So watch Flash then. Okay. Flash is the more turned up version of it. It's the Superman version of Batman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Arrow's filling in for Batman, and Flash is filling in for Superman. So watch that.
They just feel like they're teenage dramas. Like
They are. There's no doubt that they're soap operas.
Yeah.
But with superheroes.
It's American teenage novella like Twilight.
On Arrow, I can't tell you how many times somebody has died and come back. It's unreal. Yeah. You just can't trust anybody's going to stay dead. Actually, there's one character that dies in the first season. He stays dead. Oh, they did do a flashback with him last season. But yeah, so there's always there's always somebody coming back to life. You just can't trust it. So, but I say give it a shot. And then speaking of the CW shows, Supergirl's getting her own show now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So, or not own show, own movie. My bad. Oh, so it's going to be all about Supergirl, and I'm not sure if they're going to use the original girl, but she's a big fan favorite. She actually just got her own pop. So we may be getting a standalone movie for her. Show-wise, I'm getting real burnt out on that one.
So, but they're going to take the character and everything from the show, from the regular
From what it sounds like, they're using that show.
And make a standalone movie just like the Superman and Batman and all those.
If they use a new woman, I'd be totally fine with them just doing a full new story.
Yeah.
Because the problem with the show is you could tell it was on CBS first and they had a little extra money. Yeah. So it was all about Supergirl being super awesome and fitting in our world. It was great. Second season, they leaned into the aliens in the world, which means we got more John the Martian, who is the best character on the show, hands down. Nice. But it was like there's this bar with a bunch of aliens at it now and stuff like that. It was almost like they were just like, how, and CW's signature move, and you guys, I know you probably don't think about it now, but I'm going to tell you right now, and you're going to figure it out. They make teams. It's all about making a team around a character so that you have an ensemble cast so that a problem is always happening with the team, not about the heavy effects bad guy.
I gotcha.
So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So take Flash. Flash should be about him fighting new bad guys every week. It's how a comic book works, right? Yeah. But instead, we're all about, Cisco's got a problem with his dad or his brother. You know, this one's got a problem with switching over to Miss Frost. So that you kind of can stay...
It's all about social dynamics instead of...
Yeah. So like every third or fourth episode, they're fighting a big bad guy. But sometimes they're just dealing with something at home, too. And I understand that keeps the budget down. And don't get me wrong, I love these shows. Yeah. But it's CBS... When CBS had Supergirl, they were like, every episode, bad guy. And now... It's like they kind of had to bring in the ensemble cast. It didn't feel good. Yeah. It felt real out of place. So, and you just felt the money kind of drip out of it a little bit. So, anyways.
But that's a good sign that they're making a movie then, because they're gonna do the full shebang.
They're gonna have to. Yeah.
They're not gonna piddle around.
And then the last thing, CBS says they want to do Star Trek year round. Really? They're gonna bring out a Star Trek show that'll be airing all throughout the year.
Ooh, I hope it's good.
Yeah. So we got the Picard Star Trek announced.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's going to have his own Star Trek where he's cruising around and, like, it's more going to be like a Lone Ranger kind of thing, like where he's by himself, solving problems with, like, maybe a small crew. Yeah. Like, maybe a whole new crew and just him, and he's just kind of out there doing his own things, like wandering around in retirement kind of thing. Yeah. Him coming back, you just, go ahead, here's my money. Yeah. Give me as much as you can. That's awesome.
Here's a platinum credit card, make magic.
And it's actually Patrick Stewart playing Jean-Luc Picard.
That's tight.
I never thought that would happen again.
What show is this? What channel is this on?
It's gonna be their streaming service. Oh, okay. Of course it is.
Yeah, that's how people get rich now.
Well, but that's the thing is like I'm gonna get it for 1 month, binge everything. Yeah. Next month's my Hulu month, binge all of Hulu stuff. Next month's my whatever month. God. And as long as you don't talk to any of your friends that might be on a different schedule than you, you're fine.
Really, yeah, it'd be pretty smart. I mean, maybe in another 5 years or whatever, when the streaming service thing is really packed down,
oversaturated, yeah,
is a company that consolidates your streaming services. So out of the 50 that will eventually be available, you pick the 10 you want. Instead of paying $10 each, you get this deal where you get 10 streaming services for $80 or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's bound to happen. Yeah. It's the bundling. Yeah. I mean, we are bundlers. Yeah. Look at everything we do. We always want to try to bundle them into deals. Exactly. Somebody will bundle it all. And then some other service will come along. We're repetitive people. Some other service is going to come along like, we've got all those shows all in one place. You don't have to bundle. Yeah. We'll go to them. And then eventually they'll become too powerful. Oh my God, it's going to happen again.
I like it.
All right, so try to pick... Oh, well, we got one topic we're going to talk about for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But let's go ahead and you pick 3 topics because we got that one big topic. Yeah, so take the paper, use the cheat sheet. Let's get some deep dives going.
Kind of would like to talk more about Snowpiercer. There's a lot of good TV and movie stuff.
Yeah.
Video games are great, but I don't play as much video games anymore.
Because you're a slacker. It's okay.
Once I got married and it's just like, eh.
So your priorities all got messed up.
That's priorities.
Goodness. Yeah.
I know.
Oh,
I should have been writing the list.
You ever watch the Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where they create a podcast?
Yeah.
Now that we make a podcast, it's funny how different it is.
Yeah, I haven't watched it since then. I heard that there's I don't watch regular cable anymore. New episodes, of course, coming out of Always Sunny. I've heard the recent ones were really good.
I haven't again. Who watches cable anymore? But yeah.
I know, it's sad. When is Always Sunny gonna have its own streaming service?
Oh, it's on FXX streaming service.
Oh,
FX streaming service.
So when is Netflix gonna buy them?
Yeah, that's what we. Well, they just got bought by Disney.
Netflix did?
Well, no, FX Fox got bought by Disney.
Oh yeah.
And so Disney's gonna own everything eventually. That's how it's gonna happen.
Nice.
Disney will just own all the companies and be like, guess what? Now Netflix is part of us. Yeah. Then we're set.
Then we can be happy. There'll be like maybe 5 companies that own everything in the world.
Yeah.
Walmart's got to buy Starbucks.
So let's talk Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So what do you think the story's going to be like? From my understanding, it's going to be a prequel. It's going to be like right after everybody gets aboard. Right.
That'd be.
So you got all that. Remember when Chris Evans first talks about like, oh yeah, afterwards we're eating kids.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be basically that time.
Oh my god. Yeah, because they have it. Eventually, they had to learn how to process those beetles or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And pretty much farm their own food.
Right.
Because how long did they expect they were going to be on that train? You remember? It was only like a certain amount of years.
I almost think it was like a year or something like that. But they had to make it indefinite.
Yeah.
And then I think one thing we'll see in the show is when they're driving around on the train, they end up passing up those 2 that tried to escape before.
Yeah.
Remember?
They were frozen,
so I think,
right?
Yeah, they're frozen.
Yeah.
So, and it's like a mile marker. Mm-hmm. And I think we'll see that moment happen.
Yeah.
And so I think things like that we'll kind of see happen. And we'll see that one lady that was running the show that was like, needed to get her face knocked in. She drove me nuts.
Can't remember her name.
Anyways, but I think we'll see her rise to power.
Yeah. And we'll probably see, of course, it shows it in the other movie after it's already been developed, but like how they separated into different classes and different sections of the
I hope we get a lot of that.
Yeah, because it'll probably, everybody boards are all mixed and whatever, and then they have to start laying down a law, maybe creating a law because they don't have any structure to it.
I know the show is going to primarily take place in the back of the train, but that's going to be very monotone. Yeah. It all looks sad back there. It all looks the same, and it only is so big. Yeah. You can only show, I think it's like 3 cars or something like that. You can only show like 3 cars. So I think they need to have drama that's taking place in the front of the train as well. Yeah. So that you could have something going on in the school, something going on over here in the sushi area. Yeah. Just so that you can kind of get a variety, because I think... Yeah.
And it'd be easy to throw in engineering issues like, oh, we didn't realize we can't process oxygen for this amount of people.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing is, in every TV show, there are limited sets. Yeah. And some people don't even realize that until they go back and watch the show. Like, watch How I Met Your Mother. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's only what? It's got the bar, got his apartment, and they sometimes throw in a new house here and there and stuff like that. But those two hold down the whole fort. Yeah. Star Trek. Love Star Trek. It's the bridge, doctor's office usually. And then they have engineering. Yeah. And then like in the cruise quarters, what they'll do is they'll change where the shot's taken place at and change the sheets and a couple things on the wall to make it a new crew quarter. That's funny. So they just change where the camera's being set up. Yeah. And we've actually saw what we've talked with them where they talk about how they bring in the new, like, they have them up on rafters, the rooms, and they bring them down from cranes. All right, film in there real quick. Okay, put that one back up. Put this one in place.
That's so crazy.
So they have to do that, right? So, but those shows, it's funny how you don't realize how limited space is. Mm-hmm. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's all in the bar. Yeah. You know, and that's actually down in LA, not in Philadelphia. Yeah. So
some stuff in the streets, but
so maybe they'll be able to get away with this. But I think with the same colors, it's gonna, because I mean it's just so monotone. Yeah. Back there, the idea. The movie was so good, and I think the reason the movie was so good is because it felt like a video game where you're progressing through levels. Yeah. You're going to have to get that in this.
Yeah, and I think because they got such a reaction from it, they probably weren't expecting it to do so well, I don't imagine. Now they're going to be able to pump a lot more money into it, too, which it already had really cool visuals to it. But
very low budget, though. Yeah. They got that out of a very low budget. Yeah. It was a surprise hit. Yeah. Nobody expected it to do good.
Imagine that. They're going to hopefully write in... It seemed like they already had layers into the story that they didn't really tell. So they're going to write in more of that, hopefully, in the prequel.
So in the back... So in the front, I hope we get like a political drama. Yeah. Because I kind of like those a lot. Yeah. And then at the end... So this is going to be prequel. So at the end, we see the rise of... that one woman who's in charge. Yeah. All under the guise of the guy running the ship in the real front, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then in the back, we'll probably have a fight for survival. It might be kind of like a a little bit of a political thing going on, a fight for survival
like
there.
Hunger
But
Games kind of.
well, yeah, we might get like gangs showing up. Hunger Games is a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like you're saying, cannibalism, they're going to start,
That's going to be a biggie. I think everybody's going to be waiting for that.
And the people on the front might be debating the moral implications of, should we start eating some of the people from the back? And the people in the back are like, okay, which ones do we go with first? Right. The kids, the women, the men?
Well, that's the thing is, so Chris Evans' speech, if you ever haven't seen Snowpiercer yet, it's easily his best piece of work in acting because he's given a speech and he's talking about how like, we went to the people who are missing limbs. No. Oh, that's how the guy, remember how the guy, his mentor is missing limbs? Is because he here, take my arm instead of eat that baby.
He's feeding people, yeah.
Well, there's one part where Chris Evans says, I shouldn't know that eating a kid is more delicious than eating an adult or something like that. He says something along those lines. And when he says it, you're like, oh, dude.
That's sad.
I've been rooting for you this whole time. And now you're like, oh, man, you're
a monster too.
Monster a little bit, but like a sad monster.
Yeah.
So the cannibalism is going to be a big aspect. And it's going to be something that everybody's kind of waiting for, looking forward to almost. So, yeah. All right. So that's Snowpiercer. We're excited for that. Let's get another topic in.
Gosh. There's so many here.
I told you to write notes. I told you.
I know. I don't know. You pick one.
Anyway. All right. Let's go.
They're all good.
They are. Let's go over Nicksplat. All right. We got a top 5. We'll have to re-record it and everything like that. You think that's going to do well? It's like 15 shows total.
But so how much would it cost? How much is their service?
It's $8. Or no, I'm sorry. It's $6 for Nicksplat. Or it's $10 for Crunchyroll's the parent company.
Yeah.
They have a few different streaming services. One of them's Crunchyroll, and that's what they're really well known for.
Yeah.
Does all the
that
animes.
Includes Nicksplat and
so for $10 you get all of them, which is a heck of a deal, especially if you're slightly into anime, because anime is Naruto's got 700 episodes. I mean, it's crazy how many episodes are out there. So really, you're getting quite a bit. And then they just tossed in all this. And what's cool about this is it's not just the animation; it's also the live action show. There's Hey Dude, Salute Your Shorts. I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
All of that. I mean, amazing. What are you thinking about this? Are you interested in getting this?
I think it's good, but I don't think it's worth paying a separate streaming service just for that. Even if it was just $5, it's like, that's just a little $5 comes out of my account every month.
Yeah.
If it was just added to Netflix or Hulu or somebody else, and it was okay, pay $2 or $3 more for that service, and you get the family version that comes with these cartoons, then that would be cool. But I don't see paying separate for it. I mean, especially for shows that you've already seen.
That's another problem.
If you really like them, you already own them on DVD, or you should just go get them on.
I own the box set for Rocko's Modern Life, which is my favorite animated show. We'll talk about it during top 5.
I have Gargoyles.
Yeah, well, no, my favorite Nick show though.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me started on Gargoyles all day. But my favorite Nick show would be that, and I have the box set. It costs $30 because I wanted it really bad. If you go Black Friday, probably would cost you $20. Then you own it forever. See, that's my thing with this is I can't see it as a streaming service that lasts a long time. I think you own it for 3 months. You binge all Real Monsters and Rocko's Modern Life and all that, and you binge those real quick, and then you're like, well, I've seen them all. I'll stop, and then maybe a year or two later on, you get the itch again. So you go ahead and I'm gonna go and rent it up, watch another batch of Rugrats, and then be good to go. And that's another thing we talked about during the top 5 is that Rugrats is getting its own standalone show or its own live action show coming out. So
that'll be interesting.
That'll be interesting to see. Yeah, and I think that hype will empower this streaming service more. But I think one thing that might help this streaming service is if they promise to add more shows to it. So it's only showing the 90s, but the 2000s had a lot of really good Nick shows. Invader Zim.
Yeah.
Right? Fairly Odd Parents I thought was really good.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember Chalk Zone?
Yep. Oh, God, that was a good one.
That was a good one, right?
Son of a gun. I shouldn't know all these cartoons.
I know. When you think of 2000s, oh, wait, I was getting older. Yeah. I should not be of what. But I did. We did. I know, whatever. So I'm going to blame it on you because you're my youngest brother. I was watching with my youngest brother.
Watching Powerpuff Girls in high school. It's no big deal.
That was Cartoon Network, but yeah, I know that should also be in there. But so I think if they were to say okay, hey, every month we're going to add another show to the list and just pull from the 2000s, then you got a solid client base or solid future plan, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right now, so here's a set of 15 shows. If you can binge them in 3 months, then you're done watching everything on our service.
Yeah.
Really. So...
That's true.
So that's pretty good, but yeah, we'll have to see. All right, you got one more you want to go over?
Before
we go over the big one?
Yeah, before we go over the big one. The Family Guy, Simpsons, and Bob's Burger movies coming up. Have you heard any more details about those?
All I heard so far is that it's going to be the live action mix with Family Guy.
Oh, so the other two aren't aren't live action, right?
No, those are classic. Those
Okay.
are just going to be
That'd
done the right way.
Yeah.
So the Simpsons one, I'm confident will be good because the first Simpsons movie was good. It was a good story, really solid. Had a couple good voice actors that joined in on it. It was just really well done. And Simpsons is that way now. I mean, like I said, a lot of people put Simpsons down because it's not like it was back in season 2 to season 6. Like those are the heydays. But if you watch it now, it's a different show than it was then, but it's still a really good show. Yeah. They make good stories now.
Yeah, they changed the writing style.
Right. It's a whole new writing style, and that comes with age mixed with time. You know, they've had experience.
Yeah.
As for Bob's Burgers, I mean, it's a character-driven show.
So I'm wondering, though, because that's a really good show, and I love every episode I've seen, but I'm thinking, like, I can't think of a storyline they would go with for a movie.
You know, and it's funny you say that. I've been thinking a lot of the episode where they go get the Christmas tree for the third time. And they get chased by the right. This show's so good.
But it was the candy
cane truck. Yeah. So could you imagine if they're just like a cross country road trip?
Oh gosh, Bob's Burger would be a good National Lampoon's movie. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, you know what, Jonathan? You nailed it.
Yeah.
You need to H. John Benjamin. We need to talk to them. And wow, that's a good idea.
That's funny
because I'm picturing that episode every time I keep thinking about the movie. I'm picturing that episode because it just feels like. I could see them doing that, trying to get to whatever, Grand Canyon. Yeah. But man, that is a good idea. If they wanted to go to Disneyland, no, Coochie Kopi World. You her little toy that she always carries? It's down in LA, so they're driving all the way from the East Coast to LA and just all the hijinks. And then oh man, it could literally be Tina. There's another family that they come across that's kind of RVing, you know, as well. It's like like in the Millers. Yeah. And Tina falls in love with one of the boys over there. Yeah. He's got a good butt, you know, she's all about the butts or whatever. And then Gene, what could Gene be doing? Gene's like waiting to go to Hollywood while he's there, something like that. He wants to make sure he's producing a movie for Hollywood. Oh man, we're writing this for him. Oh, and then that would be perfect.
He's working on a script the whole time.
What's the mom's name? I can't remember the mom's name for the life of me now. I keep thinking Tina.
No. Gosh.
People are yelling at their podcast right now.
Bob and Linda.
Linda, thank you. And Linda's like, I got to make sure that we're always doing car trip songs or whatever, singing in the car the whole time.
Singing in road trip games.
I think this is a great idea. Yeah. Oh my God, now I'm excited for this, and it's not even like actually what's happening. Yeah. Okay, so that's a good one. Now, okay, so let's talk about Family Guy though. Mm-hmm. Mix of live action.
I've kind of fallen off on Family Guy altogether anyways, so I'm hoping this redeems them. I mean, it might be great, but how do you mix it with live action?
I don't know, and I'm hoping they don't go with their formula, because I would assume they would.
Yeah.
What we could possibly see, what feels like movies all the time are the episodes where they do the multiverse, where they go back in time all the time.
That's true.
Those feel like little movies.
Those do pretty good, too. I've liked their... Are those movies? I don't even know.
They're not. They're regular episodes, but they kind of have like that epic feel to them where you're like, you can make this into a movie.
Yeah.
And then they did do a 2-parter that felt like a movie. It's actually, there's an extended version of it too. The Murder and Mystery at the castle, at the mansion. Yeah. They could do something like that, where it's just kind of a random thing where...
Yeah. So I think what they've kind of probably figured out too is that following Peter doesn't sell much except for slapstick comedy. Yeah. But following Brian and Stewie gets you better depth in the story, I think.
Well, and so there's a Simpson episode where he goes into live action. It's one of the Treehouse of Horrors episodes. Yeah. Where he goes through a wall and it leads into our world. Yeah. Okay. They could do something like that with Stewie making a multi-dimensional thing. Yeah. And they go into our world, maybe different parts of our world or whatever. I could see something like that going in. Yeah. I'm not saying, they haven't said anything about like the whole movie being live action. Mm. They said that there will be some live action. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The mashup episode, I don't know if you've seen it yet, where the Simpsons and the Family Guy get together. Have you seen that one?
No.
That's a pretty good one because you have the Simpsons that are doing their job well, very well. Yeah. But then you also have Family Guy that's doing a good job of being meta about everything. Mm. There's even a part where like one of the Simpsons characters, I think Bart even compliments one of the Family Guy characters or does like one of their catchphrases for once. Yeah. And then Stewie's like, "Oh, sweet! I thought this was only going to go one way." And the whole time they're complimenting the Simpsons the whole time. Yeah. So they did a good job with that. So I have hope for him. Seth MacFarlane's killing it on the Orville. Yeah. So I'm just like...
Oh, yeah. That's a good show, too.
Yeah, there's actually... Fox is worried about a lawsuit coming up because they're worried that CBS wants to sue them for the Star Trek infringement. Yeah. I guess in the next season it gets real close. Oh, okay. I want to say Tim Russ is in an episode.
Oh, God, I hope so.
Oh, Tim Russ plays Tuvok in Star Trek Voyager. Yes. One of our favorites. Saw him live. Yep. He's in a band now. But anyways, he's in one of the episodes of Orville. So they do get awful close, you know. And Orville's killing it.
That's right. So. Pay the bills and keep keep infringing.
Yeah, keep infringing. Yeah, just do what you got to do.
Yeah.
All right, so
speaking of Simpsons, have you seen the new TV show that they made on Netflix with Matt Groening?
Disenchantment.
Yeah,
Disenchanted.
Disenchanted?
I haven't seen it yet. I've been meaning to.
I liked it. It was pretty funny.
A lot of mixed reaction to that, but I think it looks
to me,
good.
it feels spot on, like a mix of Futurama and Family Guy, but a lot more like Futurama.
It's like
Futurama.
That's what I was hoping for. I love Futurama. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's they're both Matt Groening projects, so that's great.
It's funny. I like it.
Yeah.
You should check it out.
All right, so in the world of animation,
and
turning into movies into live action, and the Nicktoons thing we were talking about, It's funny how those all worked out. We didn't plan on that.
That's true. That's funny.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Wow, I could have just said they deleted all the master files. No, is coming to Netflix live action. Amazing.
God. I mean, you could tell me animated too. That would be great. But live action, I hope they do great with it.
So
the greatest news I've heard all year, by the way.
So here's the skeptic. Oh, easily, right? I mean, I'm trying to think. Nerd news wise, definitely the best.
Yeah, my sister-in-law got pregnant, so that was kind of exciting.
That was pretty exciting. But this is Avatar.
Yeah. What month is it? That might have been before January, anyways. No, this is pretty awesome. Yeah.
So before everybody's like, yeah, but we've seen this before. We've all got our hopes up before. They were all crushed before.
Yeah. Let's
go ahead and rewind. This is with the two original creators, and M. Night Shyamalan's not allowed in the same state.
Nope.
Yeah.
Banished.
So originally is M. Night Shyamalan with two creators giving him advice.
Yeah.
This is just the two creators, backed by Nickelodeon's in this as well, and Netflix. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't tell me something better.
Yeah.
You really couldn't. I mean, maybe HBO, like you were saying when we were texting about this originally, maybe HBO doing it. But I think HBO might have made it too serious.
Yeah. I hope it is somewhat serious. Because it was originally made as a kid's show.
Right.
But it has such good story to it. So much in the action. I hope they do a really good job portraying their abilities. That's what I was thinking. HBO could probably would put more money into it than Netflix. But
yeah, throw more at that CGI budget.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be replacing the Marco Polo hole. So Netflix created the show called Marco Polo, which I really liked, especially the first season. And it was supposed to be their Game of Thrones. It's supposed to be this big epic show they put a lot of money into, and people just like, it was like, binge worthy. And it fell short just because the second season story was a little shallow and people just weren't grasping onto it. Yeah. Well, I think this is going to be its replacement. You're looking at a show with a all Asian cast like Marco Polo was. Epic story. Yeah. A lot of CGI, a lot of feudal times and stuff like that. It really feels like they're trying to fit it into there. Yeah. And if they put that Marco Polo money into it, Marco Polo had some cash.
Did it?
Oh yeah. They threw a lot of cash at that project. It just didn't. Nobody embraced it except for me. I was the one man fan club on that show. The story was weak in the second season. It was real bad. Even the end of the first season was like, this guy's the bad guy. Look, he painted him. The last shot of the first season is the guy had finished a painting where it showed him beheading Kublai Khan, the main guy, where if anybody walked into his bedroom and saw that, I'd be like, oh, okay, you're the villain, apparently. Yeah. So it was like, oh, okay, that was a little heavy-handed. But nevertheless, a lot of money went to that show. I think that money's going to this show.
Yeah, I hope so.
And so, what's the first thing you're looking at when this show comes out?
So, what's just been boiling in my mind, because I haven't heard a lot of leaks or much details at all. It's just saying what's happening is more than exciting enough. Yeah. But what's going in my head is what storyline are they going to go with?
Oh, I'll tell you. They're going through season by season.
So they're retelling it from the beginning?
They're retelling it from the beginning. Oh, yeah.
That's good, too. That's great. But I was thinking, like, I hope they jump back and tell...
From everything I've seen, they're doing Aang's frozen for 100 years. Oh, okay. They find him while they're fishing. My whole thing, I'm going to be watching this. I'm telling you, I'm going to stop watching the second I hear his name and it's not Aang.
Oh, yeah. You
and me were both yelling in the theaters when they were calling him Aang in the movie.
And Sokka. Oh, my God. Oh, God. That's just, it makes me sick.
I hope, listen, guys, everybody listening to this episode right now, this podcast, I hope that if you have only watched the Last Airbender movie, I could wake you up right now. Yeah. That was total garbage.
If you bought it for some reason or someone gave it to you, sadly, give it back to them or just go throw it away.
Throw it in their face. No. Don't do that. Throw it away. Yeah. We don't need to harm people over this.
And go watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated series. It is the best thing you'll see.
It is the best thing. Yeah. It had the freaking best finale.
Yeah.
When he went full Avatar mode and he had everything circling around him and he was just like, Fire Lord Ozai, how amazing was that guy? Such a phenomenal bad guy. Yeah. And then Prince Zuko, I mean, it was really, really well done. Yeah. Played by Rufio from Hook. If I haven't sold him to you already right there, Rufio from Hook is the bad guy turned good guy in this.
Yeah.
The bad guy you're rooting for the whole time with a burnt eye.
Becomes best friends. Like,
man.
Oh, gosh.
So it's... I hope somebody's listening to this and they've only seen the movie and they're like, oh, the movie was terrible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the movie was terrible.
Yeah.
The show is arguably one of my top 5 shows ever.
Yeah. It is a notoriously great show, and it's a well-known huge flop of a movie.
Oh, very well known. Yeah,
way short of any expectations. M. Night Shyamalan literally just butchered that movie.
Well, what's funny is after that movie came out, it ruined his career hard to where he came out with After Earth, I think it was that, which was also a flop. But and that he made that movie but didn't put his name on it. Every movie beforehand with him was M. Night Shyamalan's this, M. Night Shyamalan's Sign.
Since The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, Sixth Sense to this, he was booming, right?
Yeah.
Well, then he came out with that movie and just got panned.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like, okay, I'm not gonna put my name on anything. Yeah. He's coming out with Split. He came out with Split, and he came out with Glass, and his name has barely been on. I mean, they're just now coming back on those. Like, he's finally coming back. I'm happy because I'm happy for Split. I like Glass, and I like his movies, except for this one huge just dagger to my heart he did.
Yeah,
you know,
seriously.
People are gonna be like, "Oh, you guys are way too excited about this."
Oh,
I'm telling you guys,
go watch it. You'll fall in love with the characters, and you're gonna watch the entire
top 5 TV show.
Yeah.
Just top 5 TV show.
That, Star Trek Voyager, and then Game of Thrones.
And then I'm going to throw Simpsons in there because I'm a big Simpsons fan. Obviously, they already heard me.
Right.
But I'm right there. You're talking about my 4 top 5. You can't argue with those 4 shows.
Yeah.
That 5th one's a tough one. I'm trying to think of what goes in that 5th one.
That's going to be a battle.
Well, that's why we have to narrow these down. That's why we do top 5 90s Nickelodeon shows. Oh, yeah. Because we can't do that to each other.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, so that's why we're excited, guys. So they're making a live action version of this, coming to Netflix. And from what it seems like, it's following the original story. Even if it doesn't, even if it follows the comic books come afterwards, that's good news.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about, comic books. I have got to get the original Avatar comic books, and I want to read all that now.
Oh, they're really good. They're really, really good.
And so I was kind of hoping that they would show... I know this has to be saved for a later season or something, but it'd be cool if they started early in the world and show, Fire Lord Roku's story first.
Yeah, he was cool. Yeah. And not have known about him.
Yeah. So
well, that's like with Legend of Korra. The first... I can't remember his name, but the first Avatar was really cool, too.
One.
Yeah. One. No, I think it was Wan, right?
W-O-N, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He was pretty awesome, though, too, because they did like a whole episode about him. Legend of Korra, for those who don't know, it's basically a sequel series to Avatar, and it takes place, 60 years in the future with a different Avatar?
Yeah, something like that.
So, I don't want to go too deep into it. We could really just make this an Avatar podcast, go over every episode. I'm totally happy with that.
Right.
But we're not going to do that. We're going to ask that you guys go watch those.
Yes.
The animated version, do not watch the movie. Unless you just want to go laugh at something, and then have your heart break. But so anyway, so that was my biggest nerd news. When I saw that was coming out, I was super happy.
Yeah, when you said you wanted to record, I was like, cool, we could just make an episode about Avatar. I mean, that's all we really need. But then you had this huge list of tons of other things. Like, oh
but if you see that list, what's on top of there?
Oh yeah, Avatar.
Caps.
It's the title of your list. It's
Avatar,
it really
is.
And then all this
Avatar, and then the other stuff, the other nerd things that happened.
That's funny.
So anyways, guys, thank you guys very much for hanging out with us, and we will be back with a top 5 probably this weekend. Everybody's got the cold from being from work or from the cruise, or they going back to work can't take time off or anything like that. So we're getting everything hammered out, and then we'll also announce our winner of the contest for the free top 5 T-shirt. Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you guys later, and thank you very much for joining us.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Top 5. You can find us all over social media. We're on Facebook at the Top 5 Podcast, on Twitter at the Top 5 Cast. We've got a website, thetop5podcast.com. We've got Patreon and Redbubble. We'll have those in the description. If you have any suggestions, hit us up on one of the social medias. Please give us a good rating on iTunes. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. See you later.